No, Bonbon. I expect you to lie. Written by Hotel Chicken on the 29th of September of 2019. It's been some time since Agent Sweetie Drops came to you in tears after breaking up with Lyra. Since then, Agent Sweetie Drops tried to make amends with her ex-mare friend, and the two have somewhat rekindled their relationship. Lyra was pretty upset about the whole secret agent thing and asked Agent Sweetie Drops to give her some space for a bit. It's been 2 weeks since then. Agent Sweetie Drops has not only conquered your couch of chaos, but also your living room of lies, your bathroom of bane, and your kitchen. You've managed to protect your stallion sanctorum for now, but it's only a matter of time before she beautifies that too. If it wasn't for the fact that Agent Sweetie Drops was using her vacation days while at your lair, you would have sprung a trap on her by now to protect what is left of your pride. So far, she's been getting along with the henchmen, only having to suffer the disapproving glare of a few henchmen she hospitalized in the past. Thankfully, you were able to stop any of them from trying to get payback, or doing something equally stupid by threatening to withhold their paychecks. You learned a long time ago that specific threat worked a lot more efficiently on hardened veteran henchmen than death threats. You think it's because they quickly realized that most death threats were just empty threats in disguise. As the final henchman left for the weekend, you strolled into one of the deeper rooms of your lair as you patiently awaited the arrival of the most dastardly group of villains you knew for your special gathering. You did this once a month on the first Friday of each month at one of the other villains' lairs. Tonight was your night to host the event, and as previously agreed upon, all the henchmen would leave to give your group complete and total privacy for the most important night of the month. Guys' night. You already had the essentials prepared. 3 large pizzas, 2 2-liter sodas, a stack of napkins, paper plates, and a silver doggy bowl for Professor Catatomic to use. He always hated when you offered him food in a doggy dish. He called it degrading to someone who went to 12 years of college to earn their doctorate. Despite how much the professor annoyed you, you had to applaud his efforts, as most doctors or professors in the villain industry either forged their degree or just added it to their name to make them sound cooler. You considered getting a doctorate for a while, but decided having the title doctor in your name was a little too cliché, even for you. Overall villainy is either a hobby or a part-time job for most villains. Half of them are delusional egotists who think they should run the world, and the other half are just a lot of bored rich people. If it's the former, then the royal guard and the elements of harmony get involved. If it's the latter, then the government sends defunct agents who want to get back in the field. Apparently having 6 mayors who could solve all the world's problems led to a lot of ponies losing their jobs and needing to retire. So the retired agents are sent on missions deemed not important. A little insulting, but better than having a squad of guards bursting your door down. You fall into the latter of the two, not because you're bored, but because you find villainy interesting. Much more interesting than all that friendship changeling dung. There's a certain elegance to villainy that makes it similar to street magic. Except, instead of being worried you'll get stabbed and robbed by a homeless guy, you're worried you'll end up in prison. Thankfully, you've managed to elude both death and taxes thus far, and have no plans of stopping anytime soon. As you finish setting up the last of the plates for the party, you hear a symphony of beautiful bells that tells you someone is at the front door. As you happily trot up the stairs to greet your guest, you freeze in horror at the sight in front of you. Agent Sweetie Drops is about to answer the door. Death. Death to all ponies, all creatures, and death to yourself. You crave death right about now as you sit in your living room of lies, surrounded by your arch enemy and your free, most villainous acquaintances. The sound of disgusting laughter fills the air around you as you silently grind your teeth in anger. And then what happened? The Peachford Minotaur, Death Apocalypse, asks as he tries to stifle his boisterous and annoying laughter. He said, "Phew, my faithful fan has been forfeit." Agent Sweetie Drops says, quoting the time you accidentally hit yourself with your speech impediment spell. If it wasn't for her, you would have made Princess Celestia look like a fool at the annual acronym affiliation celebration. Just like Oculus, the abomination of science, magic, and veterinary studies, Professor Catatomic comments as he sips his tea. You really wish Agent Sweetie Drops didn't throw away all of your arsenic tea bags right now. Coming from the guy who hacked up a hairball during his monologue. Your saving grace and best friend, the most powerful supervillain you know, and the one who's kept you out of both jail and prison all these years. Your blue-furred Pegasus lawyer, Gabalaw, says. You promised you'd never bring that up! Professor Catatomic bites back as he slams his front paws down on the table. Come here. I won't let the mean old stallion lawyer hurt you, Agent Sweetie Drops says as she scoops up Professor Catatomic and gives him a hug. Who's a terrifying master of madness? You are. Yes, you are. Agent Sweetie Drops coos as she uses the professor's primary weakness against him. Petting and praise. You're darned right I am. Ooh, a little lower, the kitten states as he melts into Agent Sweetie Drops' hooves like butter. You roll your eyes at the professor's pathetic state. How a stallion turned cat could love ear scritches too much, you'll never know. Please, kitten is not terrifying. Kitten is like kitten, Death Apocalypse states as he takes another sip of tea. But that is beside point. Pony, tell us more stories about Octi. He barely ever talked to us. Yes, maybe you could tell us who you are too, if you don't mind, Gavalaw inquires. Your heart immediately stops beating as your face pales. Oh, well Agent Sweetie Drops was about to say something incredibly stupid, but you thankfully shut her up with a hoof in her mouth. Oh, she's my mare friend, you say to the group, causing every creature's eyes to widen. An awkward silence fills the room before Death Apocalypse bursts out into a furious laughter. Bah! You have mare friend? Good job, Comrade Octi, he states as he gives you a slap on the back, allowing your hoof to fall off Agent Sweetie Drops' muzzle. When you look over at her, your nervous smile struggles to stay up as she looks at you with a deadly glare. Sin, a word, Agent Sweetie Drops demands with a tilt of her head as she hops off the couch and trots out of the living room of lies. You give your group of friends a less than convincing chuckle before you hop out of your own seat with your ears splayed behind your head. As you step outside into the hallway of horrors, Agent Sweetie Drops spins around looking at you with a righteous fury. What the fuck was that? She whisper shouts at you, causing you to flinch at her cold tone. I panicked, okay? You were about to say you're an angel of smile, you whisper shout back. So? You're at my lair and not thwarting my plans. It makes us look like... You suppress the urge to vomit by placing a hoof in your mouth as you spit out the detestable words. Friends! If they find out I let my archenemy sleep on my couch, I'll never hear the end of it. I might even lose my membership in the society aligned with demoralization. Not to mention I'll never get accepted into Frown if Phony Pony finds out. I'll be ruined. You confess, letting a few tears escape your one eye as you give her a pleading look. Wow, I didn't know you guys were so strict with your rules. I mean, I told my bosses I was staying here and they were okay with it. It's one of the consequences of being a villain, you lament. Just play along for tonight and I promise I'll make it up to you. You beg her. Agent Sweetie Drops bites her bottom lip, clearly brainwashed into thinking that even a white lie is bad, and thinks about what you ask her to do. After a full minute of silent contemplation, she hesitantly nods her head. Okay, I do owe you for letting me crash on your couch, Sin, so I'll play... You don't give her a chance to finish, as you almost immediately embrace her in a bone-crushing hug. Thank you. You cheer happily before you unceremoniously break the hug off and cough into your hoof. I would greatly appreciate that, you say, looking away from your arch-rival, as a small smile works its way onto her muzzle. Hey, what are friends for? She rhetorically asks as she bumps you in the shoulder. Blah, don't say that, it's so icky, you lament, failing to notice the large and playful smile on Agent Sweetie Drops' face. You're right, I meant to say, what are mare friends for? She teases, causing you to bury your muzzle into your hooves. I'm never going to hear the end of it from you, am I? Nope, she happily states as she trots back into the living room of lies. Now come on, Sin, or should I say, City? She teases. With a final glance around the hallway of horrors, you slowly follow Agent Sweetie Drops back into the living room of lies. So, you two have fun? Professor Catatomic asks playfully with a know-it-all Cheshire grin on his face. It is at this moment you've realized how totally bucked you are tonight. Maybe you do have some arsenic tea bags left. The end.